Hi, Pocket. In this video we talk about a prime evil. Weekly bounty time. This week it's 3 in the plains, 5 flying wyverns, and of course tempered. We've got a lot of options for overlap here. Grey Dow is the most obvious, but there's also Arkveld and Rathian who can appear in the plains, and most recently Seregios. If I wanted to take it easy, I'd probably go after Rathian or Rey Dow, as I'm most comfortable with them, but I really want Seregios parts. Or is it Steve? Is this the monster people call Steve? Hunters can be so silly. The other bounties, Endemic Life, Fishing, and Hunting Time, are all resetting next week, so if you're curious about getting your Gastronome Tunas and Emperor Hoppers with me, you'll have to go to last week's video. It's a good one too. I like that video. Now let's get to the hunting and discuss those pesky demons. The Diablo games do a good job of documenting the prime evils plaguing that universe. Diablo, Lord of Terror, poster child of the games. Mephisto, Lord of Hatred, and Baal, Lord of Destruction. In those games, the player battles against them, the forces of hell, seemingly endless battalions of them tailored to the teeth with weaponry and magic. But those are the fictional prime evils, safely and conveniently contained within the files of those games. That doesn't mean our world is without our own, however. I myself have spotted one, roving through the world, hiding in the aqueous humors. Through many documented cases, I have named it the Nachzehrer. It's an infectious type of evil, the Nachzehrer, the kind without just one face. The first time I encountered this prime evil was when I was very young, elementary school. Back then, when the heaviest lessons were that of sharing and compassion. Simple things we come to think, but things we don't seem to be born with and can just as easily forget. Though my class was rich with kindness. One day our lesson was not ethics, but history. The history of our land, before it created us. I looked across the room to find my friend Jacob, who I had played many games of soccer with. When a baseball was thrown into my knee, he helped me limp to the office. But when I looked upon him that day, during that lesson of history, he looked back at me with eyes full of disdain. He began to shout at me, spouting curses, cursing me, my bloodline, my forefathers. The Nachzehrer had possessed him. It was as if the teacher's words upon the whiteboard was the modern equivalent of a summoning incantation, having called the Nachzehrer from its dormancy. I did not and do not hold any bitterness toward Jacob. Never again would he speak to me with kindness, as though that day had forever changed him. Though I hadn't a name for it then, I recognized this creature that had seemingly consumed my friendship with Jacob as a catalyst for its creation. And though it swallowed up a few more of Jacob's friendships, it did stop. Jacob remained with his own group of friends and was closer to them than ever. And over time, when I looked to Jacob, surrounded by his flock, I saw the Nachzehrer in all of their eyes. He had spread it to them, and now they looked back at me the same way. It made me wonder if my forefathers, the ones Jacob had cursed, the ones it sounded so vividly like he knew, had committed some act against the Nachzehrer. Maybe they had acted in defiance, but for one reason or another, I am now bonded to this evil thing. The Nachzehrer held a grudge, one that transcended generations, and Jacob would not be its only target. In time, people I called friends would look at me as though I were not even a stranger, but a hideous thing, shouting, even violent acts. It worsened over the years until I realized what they were seeking, to infect me, the same as it had them. That is the greatest strength of the Nachzehrer, its ability to turn people against one another. But it's not a simple enemy to combat. It is the act of fighting it that spreads the condition, I realized. Through those years, when its minions were attacking me, assaulting me, I had remained resilient for so long because I had always surrendered. When Jacob shouted, I did not curse him back. But the day I struck my attackers, I had chosen to fight, and I had awoken that evil inside of myself. A fragment of it. And with that fragment, I learned to channel it. I could amplify it when I was around minions of the primeval, and use it like a camouflage. I got quite good at it actually, they seemed to enjoy it. A way to make temporary peace with them, all the while making myself more pig-like. One cannot play with such fire without getting burned, and many times harnessing that power left me singed. But I have always kept myself tied, in one way or another, and though my voice had belonged to the Nachzehrer, my mind was still anchored. I was not comfortable, but I was able to reach inside of myself and rip it out. The piece of me that the Nachzehrer had tangled itself around, laying in the palm of my hand. A soul stone of evil, still young. Nachzehrer, lord of quarrels, my greatest foe, and what I deem to be the largest looming threat to our planet. But I am no hero, no Nephilim. I am not capable of fighting a primeval, not even if its mastery of stealth and spreading its influence weren't a factor. No, I am incapable of defeating this. For a time, I sought allies more powerful than myself, confiding in them what I have learned about the Nachzehrer. But it is a tragic thing. Every ally I find, no matter how kind, eventually, their eyes turn, the same as Jacob's. I realized then that it was already too late, and once more, I am alone. I do not curse them. It would only empower the Nachzehrer. It is only me that is wounded. The Algernon in me is curious, but I remain resilient. Even as the Nachzehrer possesses more and more of my family, the most I can do is remember those simple lessons, the ones before history, sharing and compassion. Those are the most defiant acts I can take without becoming another vessel. Surely, it grows more powerful by the day, and I am in no condition to battle it. I would not even see it coming if it did, you know. So, if it comes for me, I know that it may kill me. That is unfortunate. Perhaps there is a Nephilim out there. I'd like to say plenty more, but I've probably said too much. I've no doubt alerted it again. For today, I can do naught but hold hope and do the things I enjoy, like playing games and making videos. It will not be enough, but it is something for now. After defeating my 5th Seregios, still in one piece, what a miracle. I turned in my bounties for those bounty goodies, wahoo! Thank you for watching, fellow hunters. Until next time, good luck, and goodbye.